Earth is the only visible object other than the sun that can be seen, although extreme approaches to planets like myself did not see planets from certain spectrum visible.
So welcome to this week's edition of Into the Unknown with Foxy and the Lamb. Me being the fox and...
Me being the lamb.
There you go. That's good.
Why did we do that?
I've got absolutely no idea.
Okay.
So we're a few weeks in now to our spooky, supernatural, unknown world. We've had a few adventures. And this week we have a guest, actually. And I was going to call her a crystal therapist, but there's more to that, Gina, don't you?
I think she's many more things than that. She's got a lovely warmth about her.
Yeah, she's brought a hairdryer with her. Oh! Boom, boom. No, actually, I've known this lady for a number of years, on and off. We've never dated, but I've been round her house, and she's dealt with my energies. So, and there's my dog barking in the background. So, welcome to Randeep Assi.
Hello.
Hello, Randeep. Right, so Randeep's from Manchester, aren't you? Were you born in Manchester?
I was not. I was born down south. I was born in Luton.
Luton Airport and all that?
Luton, Dunstable, and then I moved to Milton Keynes when I was 6 months old, so I grew up there.
Near the roundabouts.
That's it. Concrete cows and roundabouts, that's what it's known for.
It's a funny place, isn't it?
Very, very funny. That's why I left when I was 19. I was like, get me out.
Does that explain why you got into spirits and energies? Because they're probably lacking energy in Milton Keynes.
Well, it was a man-made
Wasn't it?
town, yeah.
1960s and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, did I get into spirits and energies? Because I think it was always with me. Always.
Growing up.
Yeah, and it's in my lineage as well. But we're all born with psychic capabilities and gifts. It's just whether we open up to that in this lifetime.
Because Gina, funnily enough, is the seventh daughter of the seventh daughter, aren't you? Which supposedly...
Yeah. Maybe I am, and I don't know it, or I don't tune into that. I'll start going to some sessions, won't we?
I'm sure
See if I
Randeep
can
will help you out with that
Gina,
one.
Yeah, that's why I've invited you to a session.
Oh. Now I know.
Dun,
Now it
dun,
makes sense.
Yeah, because I've seen things over the years, and then...
Well, that's what I was going to say. You're the one out of the two of us, really, that just nipping back to earlier in the week where we did a ghost hunt. Is it fair enough to call it that?
Yeah.
And we were asked by the lady that ran the ghost hunts which room did we find most interesting, and we both decided on one room. But to be fair to Paul, as soon as we walked in, he said, there's something about this room and that doorway there. I really don't like it, and I want to get out. And then we later found out. Go on, Paul. You tell
It was the
him.
portal. But no one had told us. I think, and you've known me long enough, I think, that I know I can do stuff, and I sense things, but there's also a reality side of me going, do you know what? I don't really know it's real, because I'm going to cack myself, really, if I know too much. It's nice to know, and then I don't mind telling people. It's that thing when you say to people on date where you go, oh, I saw a UFO, or I saw this, or that. And people go, yeah, right, of course you did. And I saw a flying giraffe as well.
Yeah.
You think, why are you going to make it up? Do you want to be locked away?
Yeah.
You must have had that all your life.
Yeah, but no apologies. I say it and I embody it, and I'm, proud of it. And more so now, the psyche and people's perceptions are opening up. And I don't think it's any coincidence, just synchronicity that you're creating this and you're embodying this, because I've known you for quite a while and you've come to see me. And
Yeah.
I think we've had this discussion where you've always been told that you have a gift to
Do something.
Yeah.
Maybe this is, like I say, just the way to do it.
Or it's part of your journey to assimilate with that energy, so that those kind of fears or whatever's holding you back, the more you're in this energetic and creating it, it opens up your field naturally because you're in it.
It makes me less scared, which is interesting when you think about that ghost hunt the other week. I didn't feel scared at all.
Exactly.
I felt pretty strong, and it was like going, oh, there might be stuff in here. I mean, if there's a load of us, if I was in there on my own, it might be a different story. But, yeah, it felt all right. And like you said then about the things that are going on in the world right now, and to me, this kind of equates to politics and the Trump thing that happened, and the anger, and the Boris thing, and greed, and it's everybody else's fault than your own, and the world. It's like, I don't know, my opinion about you two feel like hell in a handcart kind of feel that we've got to change. We've got to have a turnaround and get away from greed and just looking after yourself again, because we've gone down that road for so many years now. Something's got to...
yourself and each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the call on the earth. I know that there's a lot of conversation, and it's been happening for a long time. And you go back to 2012, and they were saying it's the end of the world. I don't know if you were ever in there.
Yeah.
It was the end of the world as we knew it on an energetic basis, not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And it's been leading up to this point now where this, how do you say it, the collective shadow is rising. Like, you can see that the cycles continue. If you want to see in reality, everything continues, and we can either play into that energetic cycle and watch everything play out again in a fear mode and lose our how can you say it, our sovereignty and our power, or like I said, it's a call to actually stepping up and going, no, hold on, we don't want this anymore. We don't want the fear and that energy. We want to actually come together. And this is a really important time. People are having, as I'd say, like awakenings. There's an awakening. It doesn't mean that you're going to see 20 angelic beings and,
Yeah.
The awakening is being grounded, but seeing what's in front of you as a collective.
Just feel like the old world. I mean, it's easy for me to say I'm an actor and I live an arty-farty life anyway. But the old 9-to-5 route of people having jobs for the rest of their lives, that's been over for a long time, really. Married 2.4 kids, retirement pension, that's been on its way out for years. People just going to work and coming home and getting on with the day. I don't think
they're not even going to work.
They're not even going to work. They're sitting at home now as well. So they're not, exactly. The pandemic has stopped people being able to socialise, so you're not getting that interaction. I don't know about you, but I found it difficult to. Maybe this is why I'm doing this, because I've not been able to communicate with people, so I'm doing it here in a cupboard.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that?
So the pandemic, there's a duality. Everything's a duality, or polarity, whatever you want to see. We have the shadow, and then we have the light. That's how this realm works. And with COVID and everything that it brought to us, yes, there was the duality there. There was a gift. So some of those people who were in jobs they didn't want to be doing, who were completely, like, their life force was sucked out, had an opportunity, and I've spoken to many people, had an opportunity to reassess, realign, actually, this is not for me. And if you actually, we're so bombarded with all the negatives. If we actually open up our field and have the conversations, if you like you are now, you'll see that people have gone, it was the best thing I ever did. It was the best thing that happened to me, because I've been able to go and actually start that business I wanted to start, or go and that hobby or that passion, write that book that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That I'm not all happy clappy and everything, but that's the part that I found really interesting about COVID and its energy and what it's brought as well. So it's brought we're made as humans to be like, it's a tribe, it's wild, we need to be in community. So that's been a very difficult part. But I also feel that our souls had to slow down to take stock of what we really, really want in this journey.
Because that first lockdown, I mean, people look back on it with fond memories now. Because it was sunny, it was nice. It was like, I think it kind of went on too long after that. Those first 3 months felt like a real time just to go.
Yeah.
Well, how many people do you know that have said, "Oh, I'm doing this now," or "I'm trying this," even as a hobby, never mind changing a career or a job, or "Oh, I'm doing a course online," or so many people have kind of. You're right. I've seen.
Well, people were saying, "Oh, I can't wait things to get back to normal." What was normal? I don't go back to normal.
No, normal's it's a different paradigm now.
Yeah, normal was maybe something that wasn't that great, really, after all, because we were just still chasing our tails round.
And there was that point in it where it felt like community was together. Everyone was supporting each other and looking out for each other. And then you can feel like disappearing again now. You're thinking, I'd say, we'll be the same. And I'd hear people going, no, people will go back to normal. I'd say, no, they won't. Or they a lot have, just
It's a good
that
time to
kind of...
reset, isn't it? It's a good time to sit back, think about everything, reset. And actually, I find out of this, I don't know what everybody else thinks that's here or listening, is, got to spend quality time with your kids that I normally wouldn't get. You know, my daughter came back from uni, got to spend time with her, got to spend more time with my other daughter. She's home, even homeschooling, seeing what she's doing, what's going on.
Friends and family. And also,
Anyway.
not putting up with any shit. I don't like to swear on this podcast, but I think shit's okay.
Are we allowed to say shit?
I think so.
I'm holding back.
Yeah. People who like... No, I'm not saying people who are a pain in the backside. I just mean people who you don't really have a connection with. People you hang about with and you put up with just because you've always hung about with them and you put up with them. And then you think, they can hang about with somebody else now.
Not really do that anymore.
And that's not because I don't like them. It's just I don't connect with them. And there's plenty of other people in this world that I want to have a good time with. And birds of a feather to a certain extent, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No. And it's like... I mean, this is on the other side of it. I'm waffling on myself now. It's Randeep, so opened up my what's it.
I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Don't bite me,
She's going, here you go.
Go on.
We're not even in the room.
Do you want a water bottle, Gina? Have a water bottle. There you go, and a teddy bear. I'm on a mission here. But,
I've been lonely and isolated.
yeah, I'm going inside.
It's all coming out now.
I'm inside my own head. But it's like Facebook, innit? Because of the way that works, you get opinions that are only yours as well. So when I'm saying birds of a feather, you do need to connect with other people as well. And not just believe in your own truths, but listen to other people.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
But look at us. We've had time to just talk about, should we do that? Because we've got free time.
Yeah.
Normally
Yeah.
it'd be just on the back burner somewhere. We'll do it one day. We've gone...
Because I was moaning because of COVID, I've not been filming very much. Well, if I'd been filming, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't have written this film I'm doing as well at the minute.
You've actually been more creative with your time.
Yeah. Don't let me producer hear that, because
No.
she'll go, and you can have another
That's
10
just
years
my
off if you want.
opinion, producer.
Yeah. Stay off. There you go.
Anyway,
Right.
Randeep, sorry,
Randeep.
back to
No,
you.
it's all right.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to, sorry, I'm going to be really selfish now and say, I don't know, I know Paul said you do some shamanic healing, and I know
She does everything.
about the crystals. So I don't really, it's obviously, as we say, into the unknown, because this is the unknown for
Yeah.
me, and some of it for Foxy as well.
Yeah.
We're on a learning curve, but so crystals. I mean, I've obviously gone into places that sell crystals and had a look around. Very beautiful sort of thing, nice, relaxing. I mean, can you just go out and buy them yourself? Do you? I don't understand whether you lie down and put them on your body, not to sound weird or anything, or do you hold them in your hand, or what do you do? Because I mean, it's not a bad thing to go and buy them, because I guess, or give them to somebody. I've been giving them as presents, because I guess, roses die, chocolates go on your hips, so crystals are good
Yeah.
one, isn't it?
Yeah, get a crystal. Yeah.
So how would you go about that?
So crystals are very interesting. They're not just a little nice piece of rock. This is just my experience. Crystals actually, so you think about the baseline like quartz. Quartz has a memory system. If you look at IBM, all the chips, all our phones,
All right.
they're all that's with quartz crystals. So
Yeah.
it's a record keeper. It holds memory.
Okay.
So
Oh.
crystals are record keepers, and they hold memory, and various different crystals entrain with our energetic system and do work on a healing capacity. So there's many out there. There's lots out there. There's unscrupulous people who are making a lot of profit on crystals. I'm going to go with my truth that they're actual living, breathing beings. I've journeyed with crystals for a very long time. If anyone's interested, you can look at ancient Lemuria and Atlantis if you've heard about them. They all work with crystal technology.
So do you mean they're alive?
They're alive, so
Right.
they're alive. So like I said, they're record keepers. They're these beings that if you interact with them, they will give back. If you want to go,
Yeah.
that's going really deep into it. But yes, gifting people a crystal, you may find that they will actually receive it, and unbeknownst to them, once it starts getting in their energetic field, they're like, oh, I actually am feeling a lot better. And if you don't tell them, say you've got the the staples, rose quartz, amethyst, quartz, if you don't tell them what actually their properties are, they will actually feel it, and then you can do the research afterwards.
Yeah.
It's the best way of actually exploring crystals and how they work. But crystals were in ancient Egypt, the technology, the pyramids were capped with quartz crystal. There is a lot to be said that quartz crystal was there to create electricity, because if you hit a quartz crystal, it's got piezoelectricity in it as well. So it's very powerful.
Because that was something that Foxy and I were talking about before, that we were reading about how they used to bury people with crystals to give them those energies or to help them in the next life.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Because that's when Paul made his terrible joke about what was it?
May the quartz be with you. Yeah, may the quartz be with you. Comedy gold. Yeah. Yeah, if we're doing a comedy podcast anytime soon.
Ancient Egypt is the great learning ground for crystals and technology. Lapis lazuli. It's this kind of blue colour on your wall here.
Yeah.
They used to crush it down, use it as well for makeup, but they genuinely used it for technology. If you look deeper in it, there's a lot more to crystals and on their being and into their auric field.
So I guess you've got to know what you're doing, because I could walk into one of these shops or whatever, but I don't really know what I'm buying, what for.
Does she need a session with you, Randeep, to know which crystals she's going to need?
I'm just saying, I'm learning from Randeep about how they each have different meanings or functions, or I don't know how you... Properties.
Yeah, so they all have different properties, and there's lots and lots and lots and lots. So you can go into a crystal shop, and 9 times out of 10 you'll have what are called tumble stones. So they've been put through a machine and tumbled and smoothed to be nice and tangible and soft and small, so you can get a little bag of them. But they'll have something written there, and the properties, they're generalised. You may feel something more. I also believe that if you want to go in there blind and just pick, and then you let the experience with the crystals be, but it's the first guide I'd say is, if you're feeling something, if there's grief or sorrow, you can go for something like rose quartz, which is that love frequency, and it's just that healing kind of chilled out frequency. And then if you want to start going into turbo land and connecting with the extraterrestrials and that world, you want to look at tektites and things that have landed through meteorites. So I'm wearing something called moldavite.
Right.
And that
I can't for you mention that. So I've heard that before, moldavite, saying I should get some of that.
But be very mindful, because now people are imitating moldavite, because it looks like it's a green coloured, like it looks like bubbled glass.
Yeah.
And there's lots of fakes out there as well.
But that's from an asteroid.
Yes, yeah. And it's mostly it was in the Czech Republic, and you can feel it. It takes you into another realm, so you're assimilating, your vibrational field, your auric field will assimilate with these different crystals as you go. So rose quartz, nice and gentle, and then you start working with different... They come to you, so whichever crystals want to start working with you.
So what's this one? You've got one here today, and I've got one of these, and mine's a giant version of this. All I can describe, mine is like, what Randeep has got is like a piece of what I've got. And if anyone's seen the original Superman film, when Superman goes to his ice cave and he puts this ice key into this ice machine, not like an ice machine in the kitchen, proper ice machine, and he pops it in, and then his world gets recreated. It looks like that. So what is that crystal, and what is that kind of...
So this is selenite. Selenite,
right.
You can see a lot now. They have selenite lamps, and you can even buy them from that TK Maxx. We're doing brands. We can't do brands.
Oh.
In every space now, they're becoming more accessible. But the thing with selenite is, it will help with any kind of energetics that don't feel quite right. So we'd say just plain like negative energy. So you can place a selenite right near your front door. It's quite heavy. Don't put it in water, because it will actually just perish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you don't have to. So crystals generally have to be cleansed. It's how you choose to do it. People use water. People use sage, incense. I also use music because crystals have memory, so they entrain and can use the frequency to go back to neutral point, or you can program it to be a certain
So
vibration.
how would you use that? So kind of talk us through a session. If somebody came to see you, what would kind of normally happen on a crystal session?
Okay, so crystal session, that's so loose. Crystals are incorporated in my practice, but what will happen is I'm guided to which crystals are needed within the energetic system of the body. So some are maybe, well, most of the time are lying down, so I will just intuitively go and pick up whichever one's calling, and it goes within the energy system and beyond. So you've got the chakras, I think. Does anyone know what the chakras
Well,
are?
Paul, you've done this, haven't you?
Yeah, well, this is it. I've been to
That's how
Randeep
you
a couple
know,
of times,
right?
and we, like we say, we can go on the crystal route, but it is so much more than that.
Yeah.
Shamanic healing, which we can go into a bit more in a minute. But if I go to Randeep's, it's much more of an all-encompassing kind of. I know when I come out of there, I feel like
Just you were saying
any
that
darkness I might have has been lifted, and I don't get
Refreshed.
depressed. I never really get down unless I've had too much whiskey. And I don't even drink whiskey. I don't know why I said that. But I always feel better afterwards. So, in fact, talking about crystals, we had this thing 6 years ago when I was getting divorced. I didn't know quite where I was in life at that point, just trying to figure out where I was going. And we were having this chat at the end of the session, and Randeep had I think it was a pink crystal, dark pink, and a white one.
It was a big, huge. So I had. It was a big quartz. I recall, and there was a big citrine, and they were on the top shelf.
Yeah. And one by one, when one started shaking and collapsed to the floor as we were talking.
Yeah.
And then we carried on talking again, and the next one did it, and that collapsed on the floor.
Okay.
And before anyone thinks, there wasn't anybody digging up the road outside. It's not built on an old mine shaft. It literally was weird, and we've both never forgot that, have we?
Yeah,
It was,
no.
why do you think it happened? I mean,
We were having a very important conversation. I can't recall it now because that's gone. That's, you're in a different, completely different reality now. So, but at that time it was gaining the attention, and crystals are beings, like I say, they were responding to the energetics and didn't want you to forget that conversation because there was some medicine in there for you to go back with. And I recall that's the one thing I recall was like, don't forget this conversation. That's why they were. And I think maybe whatever it was, you actioned something, and now you're here. So,
yeah. I think I was actually going to buy a house that I didn't need to buy.
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh.
Funny enough, it was near my ex-wife, and I moved somewhere else, and I've come back to near where my ex-wife used to live, but she doesn't live there anymore. So, although we still get on, yeah, that's not a problem. But I don't think that place was right at that time.
So I'm just trying to get an idea of what a session, because I know Paul's, obviously you both done stuff together before. I'm just trying to understand how that would. So would you go in and lie on a bed like in a beauty salon type thing, or do you just, I'm probably sounding really naive, but just to understand how it works.
So you find your energetic space where you want to work from. There's some people that do their work from beauty salons. It's wherever your space is. Right now I'm doing
So
it.
you could just be lay on the floor, I guess.
Yeah, you can.
I'm just thinking if people are listening and they don't know like me, then
Yeah, you could be anywhere. So I could say, Gina, let's just go in the other room.
Yeah.
These tools are helpful, but
and I'll say yes, okay, Randy.
Yeah, off you go.
these tools are helpful, but I don't need all these tools. I could just go and do a session with you.
Okay.
It's,
So they're just an additional.
they're an addition. They're an assistant, but
So something is within you as well as a person.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
yeah,
I see.
yeah. So, did you say what a session would look like?
So
or
what a
feel
session
like?
would look like? Because I could pick these things up and go, I'm going to lie somebody down and put these on, but there's some other sense of something about you as a person, and you're kind of, without sounding cheesy, your aura, or you've got some nice warmth about you. So there's obviously something about you that makes these sessions really special, if that makes sense. Because I suppose anybody can pick these up and do a session, but there's something about you as a person that connects with people or with the crystals.
You can't like just mess about and pick it up, can you? You've got to know what you're doing.
No, so I was initiated with spirit, and the energetics of it from a young age. I knew about it. I was open. Kids are open. Babies, you'll see, they see around. They can see because they have one foot here and one foot in the other world. Because they're still, so they still. They say from that world till 7, and then it starts coming into the programming of the Earth realm. And I trained funnily as an actress, and my story was as an actress is how I ended up in Manchester. But life threw a few little things and a few heartbreaks, and I was carrying that. And there were 2 people told me about this lady. They said, you need to go and see her. And at that point, it was Reiki. Reiki's now everywhere. You could do a course on Reiki online. All 3 of them, please don't do that, because that's energetic. So initiate, find someone really responsible. That's my first bit of advice there. So I went to see this lovely lady, Ethel Kilroy. She's my inspiration. And I went there for a healing. And that turned into me lying there and going, I think something's waking up in me. I'm remembering that I actually have to go on this journey, and I have to go and do my Reiki level 1. Reiki is called, it's universal life force energy. So you can say Reiki, that's the Japanese initiation. You've got pranic healing, which is the Indian. You've got Sekhem, which is the Egyptian version. You've got loads.
Basically
All
the same
it is,
thing, though.
it's the energetics. It's what you choose to invite in. So you're just connecting. It was the way in for me to open up and remember that, oh, this is the path I need to be on. And as you initiate into the different levels, so level 1 is about yourself. So this is about your clearing up and opening up. So things that have laid dormant in you, level 1 is a great way of opening, clearing, and moving you on in life. So you're not stuck in something. Level 2, then you can become I don't know how people will say it, practitioner. I like to say practitioner as opposed to therapist. And that initiates you into another level of energy and opening and symbols. And then you go into your master degree teaching, which is, some people think, oh, I'm a master. It's just an opening into mastering life. That's all it is. It's not, there's a banding about now that there's a hierarchy in this world of I'm better than you. It's horrible.
Do you know what? Briefly talk about mastering. I won't tell you who this person is, but I heard somebody had Reiki masters once who used it in a really negative way. Yeah. They like to see people sweat, to be scared as a Reiki master. I found that really odd.
What?
I don't know.
I thought this was all about
Yeah.
relaxation.
Well, I suppose it depends who's getting hold of it. I won't say on air. I'll tell you afterwards who that person is, because we've all met them.
That's ego. That's
right.
the power. That's the misuse. But you know what? Energy and the spirit world will work very quickly into whatever that person is doing. They'll have a big wake-up call. You can't mess with the energetics. So whatever they're doing, won't be doing it for too long. Let's put it that way.
God. Yeah.
Because that's kind of using it as control, isn't it?
Yeah,
Again?
see,
So
and-
that's the wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, so your journey doing this level 1 and 2, and that probably took quite a while then.
Yeah. So all in all, I think it took me about 7 years.
Wow.
And I used to go into the Reiki weekends and go and, assist and see and learn and work on the energetics. And for me, a gift that opened up through Reiki was my mediumistic quality, so connecting with people on the other side. So on the weekends, it was obviously about Reiki, but I had to there was this compulsion to share messages from people and loved ones. So I was like, oh, this is opening up into something else and getting deeper and
And do
deeper.
you find your mediumship qualities, does that, for you, mean the ability to sit down and do 10 readings in a night? Or is it more as and when it's when spirit wants to talk to you rather than you going access? Do you know what I mean? 'Cause sometimes I get messages, but I don't think I can sit down and do readings for one person after another. I don't know. I don't know if
Training, wouldn't it?
yeah, I don't. I kind of wonder. Does spirit have to know Do you become famous on the other side for being a portal? You know what I mean? They go, somebody's you're dead. Oh, we've got to go and speak to Foxy. Yeah, he can hear the dead. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how that works. That sounds mad, doesn't it? You know?
We're all born with psychic capabilities, all of us.
Yeah.
The mediumistic, without like making it exclusive, is a gift. So if you choose to take the baton and open that gift, it is about training. Like, I spent a lot of time wondering, how do I do this? I'll just keep going with it. And then I went to, it's called the Arthur Findlay College in Stansted, and it's the School for Psychic Sciences. So I trained more and more in the world of mediumship, and actually what gifts were opening up within me. So it wasn't just mediumship, we can say psychic loosely. Where I've got to now is, we were talking about, should we call you a time hopper? I can go into people's timelines. I'm being shown various points in their life where they've been suspended, so their soul has had a bit of trauma, and I mean generally, every person has their idea of what trauma is. It doesn't have to be the biggest, massive, but...
So that's like watching X Factor back in the day, where a 17-year-old girl comes on and goes, "I've been training for this all my life." You're 17, shut up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, with Randeep, you've done so much training, really, and you've really focused in on this. And to be fair to you, Paul, people that I spoke to that obviously we've just met today, that have actually spoke to you or you've helped them. They all just have such a good rep about you and speak really. I'm not just saying this because we're on air, but they all speak really well of you. So when I met you today, I was just thinking, I wonder what she's going to be like and what kind of. But I did get a nice warmth and a friendliness. But obviously that's because you've done all that hard.
You have an energy, yeah.
And you haven't kind of. You're not. Anybody could pick this stuff up and go, "Oh yeah, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium, I'm a this, I'm a." Anyone can do that, but you've actually done the hard work behind it.
I feel like that was very much an honouring to a gift I was given, and I always feel like it is a gift, and I'm humbled by it, and I'm just a conduit. There is nothing about me that is special in any way. It's just that my life right now is about being a vessel to interact with people so that they can heal themselves. Like, I'm not the healer per se. Gina, if you come in the room, you've got to be willing and open. Anyone can come, and I've had those ones that want to prove that they can't be healed. So that energy system is closed down. They're not receptive.
Yeah.
If you're coming in and going, I have to... So a lot of my work now is, right, let's just set an intention. What is your intention? It can be so very small. If you're just embarking on a journey of seeing someone, Reiki, energy, whatever you're guided to. It's the small intention and the openness. But you are the one who's facilitating your own healing. I'm just there to be a tool and a mechanism into allowing you to have that space to heal.
But when you say just a tool, I feel like you are the real deal, because you've done all that work behind. How many courses, how many people have you worked with? So, if somebody wants to channel into something with somebody... Yeah,
I mean, it's simple, isn't it? If you want to brush your hair, you need a brush. So you're the brush, really. So you know what I mean. It's that simple, isn't it? To a certain extent.
Waffle, so that's
that bit in the middle.
And right now, because we're talking about COVID, it was really interesting. So I was pregnant during COVID, and I got to connect with Aria and my daughter and her spirit, and I knew, I was like, oh, there's another initiation happening. I'm being bumped up a bit more here. She's coming down on this earth to bump me up. There's more work to be done. So I was like, once she was born, it was 9 months to the day, and you could say I was having a breakdown. I was on my knees. I thought, this is not postnatal depression. Oh my God, what's happening? My whole energetic system, mind, body, soul. I was like, oh no, I'm hearing things, seeing things. And they're like, right, Randeep, it's your initiation. You you have to come out there now because the earth is going through such a big change and a big clearing. No time to waste. So I was like, oh my God, my tiny baby, what do I do? So, do you mind me talking about this? It's
No,
just a
no,
segue.
absolutely, no, carry
So
on.
I was like, right, okay, how do I navigate this? So I had to say to all those loved ones around me, let me fall, let me drop. I need to rebuild, recalibrate my energy to what earth is needed right now. So I had to go back and do this thing called Cambo, which is a frog medicine from the Amazon. I won't go too much into it, but if people want to explore it, it's an amazing medicine, not for the faint-hearted, but it actually works through your system and releases a lot of energetics that need to be released. So I did that. And
Frog medicine. Sorry, I've just
yeah,
got to come back to
I knew
that
I
one
was
minute.
like, I can't get away with
Yeah.
this, but there's always a reason for conversation, so this is coming out for a reason. So Cambo is there's a lot to it. So in the
Speaking of
Amazonian
bears in the jungle.
Yeah.
in the Amazonian jungle, they needed to have clarity when they were hunting. And I don't want to say too much because of the story and the lineage, and I want to honour that. So please go and do your research. But just to say that it was a permission slip for the elders and the people of the jungle to secrete, and in a most humane way, this is like a venom off the frog, and then you burn holes in the body, very superficial, so the epidermis, so the very, very
Top
first
layer.
layer, top layer. And then you put this medicine on, and then you wait, and then you purge. And you're purging not physically also, but energetically. So they call it panima or panima, however you want to pronounce it. It's the energies that have been carried around our auric field.
Okay, just to...
Yeah.
Like with that, I've done TFT tapping before, and they say it's like clearing the motorway of crashed cars,
Yeah,
sort of
the
thing.
meridians
Crashed
of the
energies.
bodies. Yeah. So this is working.
I'm really into them. Though, really.
Oh yeah,
Really.
that's another story.
This is so it clears that, and I did it previously, but where I'm going with this was like, oh my God, really? Just had a baby. Why am I doing this now? And there was a couple of other invitations for other explorations for me, and then we were talking about lockdown and all of the things that happened. My platform came onto Zoom of all places. So I was like, how am I supposed to do this on Zoom? What am I going to be doing on Zoom? So in my little liminal world of being lost, I actually followed my gut and my intuition, and I got paired with people and mentors who were there to allow me to remember where I go on the path now. And so the remembering now is that my work I do is physical but energetic. I can do it over Zoom, but I really enjoy doing it face to face with people. We go through the energy system. I'm guided to dates, places, time hopping, so we go into timelines.
I've not done that with you before, so that's exciting.
So we bring back your soul parts, your fragments. That's going into the shamanic world as well, that have been suspended and left in the auric field to come back because they have a purpose to be here. So we start clearing that way. Some people now say there's an oracular element to my work. So the oracle, an oracle doesn't. Life is about, like, you can go to a psychic or a medium, tell me. You won't get everything because you're not supposed to. Your path is there to open a few presents, and the rest.
So do you do all of that? So you do that kind of shamanic healing. You do gemstones if people want that, or whatever you feel you need to bring to them, and also some sort of mediumship, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
That whatever comes through to you.
It's like in it, and I keep trying to put these little similes. So I'm trying to put it into what's it for anyone listening.
Yeah, I don't know
if anyone's listening, it's like for me, going round to Randeep's is like you go in at your bathroom, you run in your bath, you get in your bath, then you got to wash your hair, then you got to do your armpits, and you got to get out, and you got to dry yourself off, then you got to put your deodorant on, Then you've got to put some thickener on your hair if you're going bald like me. And then some creams and some aftershave. So everything that Randeep is doing spiritually is an element of... So the crystals and all those little things are an element of you having a bath or a shower. All those little bits in it. So you come out of it...
Contributing to a
Yeah.
better you at the other end.
Yeah, for a bath you come out feeling cleaner. After going to see Randeep, you come out just feeling
Oh, so I get it's
clearer.
that sense of cleanse.
Cleansed, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I'm waffling. You take.
Well,
what
I
you
don't know.
want.
I'm just naively asking questions because I've never done this before. I don't know. I know you Paul's done it.
Yeah.
It's
You've
tough
done
because
that.
you can get. I think you can all get. Well, you've noticed that with people. They get tied into one thing, and it's not. It's all part of
It's
the
all-
same.
Yeah, because I incorporate sound in there because we are frequency and energetic. If you think about it, music, it can either uplift us or it can take us. It takes us into different timelines. It takes our body resonates. So sound healing and sound frequency is actually where it's going. It's the future of one element of how we heal as human beings. So yeah, there's that in there.
I think this could get addictive, couldn't it? I could see Paul
Oh, yeah.
saying, "Do you want to come out for a drink?" And me going, "No, I'm skinned. I've just bought another crystal."
crystal balls.
Yeah.
See, that's as long as you're doing it with the purpose of healing and not addiction, because there's
Yeah.
spiritual materialism out there. Like, if I get
Yeah.
one more crystal, I'm going to be better. If I get this one more thing, I'm going to be better. It's finding the line with what you're accumulating around you. Like,
So you can find that for yourself if you go somewhere and you see some and you think, "I'm drawn to this
Yes.
one." That's
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
not at all.
It doesn't
It's
take somebody
calling
else
you.
to choose it for
No,
you.
it doesn't. And it's calling you. Just go into that space, trust yourself. But if you want something a little bit deeper or something more specific, just go and speak to the people there. They will have a clue about what's
Well,
what's
I like the
what.
idea of kind of getting everything bundled up together, where, you know, if somebody came to see you, that they're not only getting that kind of cleansing, but also those messages maybe as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Or
You do get. I remember the last time I was at yours. It's a few years ago now because I need it. Maybe I do need it again now.
Yeah.
Probably it's all part of what we're doing. But yeah, you'd be doing everything else, and a random message will come through.
Yeah.
And so where sometimes in the medium you just sat there waiting for messages. It's part of it. So
It's part of it.
yeah, there's
yeah.
a whole sort of having. Well, I can't say having a relax, but there's a whole thing about when you talk about cleansing the soul is just kind of feeling very relaxed during it, rather than just sat in a chair opposite someone thinking, "Oh, this is awkward because they've not got anything yet, or they've said some names and I don't know who they're
Yeah.
talking about."
Yeah, so it's I think some people say it's like an interactive experience. If there's stuff to come, we're working in a healing capacity. Like I had someone the other day said, lie on the bed, let's see where this goes, because I need you to lie on the bed. And I said, this is going to be a very interactive session, so you're not just going to lie there. Sometimes it's more passive. They just need the quiet and they need to be restored completely energetically. And all of these dates were coming up and they were very, very specific, like very specific. This was my happy time. This was my trauma. So we were like, right, let's go into it. And then the body was having a visceral experience. The adrenals, you could see everything that this person had gone through and accumulated in their 50 years of life, and the experience at a certain point was coming out in that session. The room was, it was. I'm always humbled and like, wow, just witnessing what spirit brings in is quite incredible. And he was open. He said, it's time now. He said, I have to do this. I have to do this. I just know my soul is telling me that I need to come.
Does
So-
that exhaust you though? Do you feel exhausted after I mean, you know, just saying you probably can't do 10 of them a day, can you? Because I'd imagine that's quite mentally exhausting.
If any kind of practitioner is getting exhausted, they are putting themselves in there, because we're just a conduit. So we're like a channel in a way. So we shouldn't be getting tired. If you're if you're slipping in there, and I just mean this generally, not in a negative, but if our conscious mind and body is going in there, our ego or anything trying to control the session, absolutely you'll get knackered because you're going into it. But I just stand back and allow whatever's going to come through to come
I
through.
guess that's all part of your training and learning from other people that have got a great deal of experience as well, as you know how to do it. It's like any job, isn't it? It's like training to be an electrician. You're learning a trade and having 7 years experience.
Have you noticed as well in recent years, we're talking about the world changing, that you've got busier, or there's just a different approach from people who come. People might know more about it before they come, or
There is a massive, like I said, on a consciousness level, the consciousness of humanity is absolutely completely transforming. So people are coming with an element of remembering, even if they're not consciously aware in their world, they've not done any research. They're like, oh, this has been happening to me, and I really feel like I need to come and I need to do. I don't know what this is, but they're doing it anyway. They're being guided very, very, not forcibly, but very nicely into this new vibration that we're coming into right now.
And do you think people leave feeling sort of calm and more positive, like they've got some clarity in their life? Because everybody knows you can get sort of backed up and stressed and anxiety and
my body. So I had a text just yesterday, and like sometimes you don't get feedback. People are that happy. I've seen one person once, and you find out later that was all they needed, and that was their key to, But the feedback was, I feel serene. That is it. I was like, wow. Wonderful, great. And this is someone who's been so bothered for 10 years, well, a lot of their life.
Changing so many people.
Yeah.
I want to go again. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to wrap that podcast up there, because it's 45 minutes of brilliance.
Thank
actually.
you very much.
We could sit here all day and talking. We're going to have Randeep back again.
Thank
I think
you.
Definitely.
even if she's just coming making the teaser, so she's bringing good energy to the show every week.
Thank you for inviting me.
But anyway, before we go, where can people out there find you, and whether it's over the phone or whether they come to see you personally, whatever you'd want to do, really?
Over the phone, so what you mean, like actually give my number?
Well, my number, no. Let's not give your number out.
Over the phone, I was like,
The old Frank from Rottenstone, well, she sounds fit, I'll ring her up. Hello, Randeep, it's me, come on. No.
So I'll say it very quickly. So at the minute, after Ari was born, I was guided to work predominantly with women, but it's opened up now. More masculine are coming in. So my Instagram is called The Temple of the Wise Woman, and the website is the same. But all the males out there, worry not. Things are transforming. It's happening that quickly that now I have to work again back with the masculine and the feminine, so the male and the female.
So it's just Instagram, and it's the Temple of the Wise
Wise Woman. Yeah.
And the website, Temple of the Wise Woman, as well.
On
Yeah.
the website.
Is that .com or
Yes, .com.
.com?
Yeah,
There you
Temple.
go.
I had to go. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what. And all I would say to people out there, just go, because
Yeah.
Or you can
brilliant.
have a
Give it a
Zoom
go.
session.
Or a
Just-
Zoom session.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah,
Of course you are.
Can I?
of course you are.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Right, well, Randeep, thanks very much. That was amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Earth is the only visible object other than the sun that can be seen, although extending towards the planets I myself did not see planets from a certain spectrum. Invisible.